All right, let's talk about something most people are curious about, but almost nobody is taught how to approach in a healthy, respectful, and actually enjoyable way. Because let's be real, good sex isn't about copying what you've seen online. It's about connection, communication, and awareness of another human being's body and comfort. And when it comes to face sitting or oral intimacy in general, that truth becomes even more important. So if you're here expecting some wild, unrealistic performance script, that's not what this is. This is about doing it right mentally, emotionally, and physically. First, let's understand the real issue. Most people think intimacy is about technique. It's not. It's about trust. Face sitting, in particular, is a very vulnerable position for both people involved. One person is physically elevated and exposed, and the other is placing themselves in a position that requires awareness, attentiveness, and respect. Here's the truth. If there's no communication, no comfort, and no mutual desire, it doesn't matter what you do, it won't feel right. And that's where most people get it wrong. They skip the conversation, they assume, they rush. Now let's go deeper. Why do some people enjoy this dynamic? Psychologically, it can be about control, surrender, closeness, or even just a different kind of physical connection. But emotionally, it comes down to feeling safe enough to let go. For the person on top, they need to feel fully comfortable, not judged, not rushed, not self-conscious. For the person underneath, they need to be present, responsive, and tuned in. Most people don't talk about this, but confidence in intimacy doesn't come from being dominant or passive. It comes from being aware of breathing, aware of body language, aware of subtle signals, and yes, aware of when to pause. Let's bring this into real life scenarios. Imagine this. You're with someone, things are getting intimate, and you suggest trying something new. If the other person hesitates, laughs nervously, or avoids the topic, that's not a green light. That's your moment to slow down. On the other hand, if there's curiosity, openness, and comfort, that's where communication begins. You don't jump into it, you talk about it. What do you feel comfortable with? Do you want to try this slowly? Tell me if anything feels off. That right there, that's what creates better experiences than any technique ever will. Now let's talk practical in a real respectful way. First, hygiene matters for both people, not because of perfection, but because it builds confidence and comfort. Second, positioning should never feel forced. Comfort comes before anything else. Adjust, communicate, laugh if needed. Intimacy doesn't have to be serious all the time. Third, breathing and awareness are key. The person underneath should always feel able to communicate easily. There should never be a sense of pressure, restriction, or discomfort. That's not intimacy, that's a problem. Fourth, feedback matters. Not performative sounds, not fake reactions, real feedback. What feels good? Is this okay? Do you want me to slow down? Let's be real, that kind of communication is attractive. It shows confidence, maturity, and emotional intelligence. Now here's something most people ignore. Boundaries are not a mood killer. They are the foundation of good sex. If someone says no, hesitates, or pulls back, that's not rejection. That's information. Respecting that instantly builds trust. Ignoring it destroys everything. And in today's world, where people are more aware, more vocal, and more selective, respect is not optional anymore. It's the baseline. Also, let's touch on something important: influence. A lot of expectations around intimacy come from adult content online, but here's the truth: that content is performance. Real life is connection. If you try to copy what you've seen without understanding your partner, you'll miss the entire point. Instead, focus on presence. Focus on reading the moment. Focus on mutual enjoyment, not performance pressure. So what does doing it right actually look like? It looks like two people who feel safe enough to explore. It looks like checking in, adjusting, and being okay with imperfection. It looks like laughter, pauses, and real communication. And most importantly, it looks like respect. Let's wrap this up. Face sitting, like any intimate act, isn't about being impressive. It's about being aware, being patient, being respectful. Because at the end of the day, the most attractive thing you can bring into any intimate moment isn't skill, it's emotional intelligence. So here's your takeaway: talk more, assume less, respect always. And remember, good intimacy isn't something you perform, it's something you build together. If you found this helpful, stick around, because most people don't talk about these things honestly, but that's exactly what we do here.